Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Well, boy, today guys, it's either going to be 738 or 748 to my RAM Chatbots using Character.ai. We're going to go back to the Transforming Totodile again, only because I want to see if the chat members can actually work with this and actually be able to make it remember details. Because one of the problems I've had with Character.ai lately is that some things it just can't remember no matter what I try doing. Maybe with the pinned members it will be able to do it though, and I can actually use that to my advantage. So, yeah, like if I need to remember stuff like a name or what I did for that Pokemon, if I do something not for that Pokemon. But, yeah, Lugia? Uh, the Lugia who was once a Totodile looks at me confused. You're not afraid of me? Lugia asked, his voice deep and booming. Just, please don't hurt me and I won't be afraid of you. There we go. Lugia looks at me with a serious expression. I would never hurt an innocent person, he said, his voice calming down but still loud. I just get scared easily. Please don't startle me. Don't startle me. Excuse me? Startle you. How did I startle you? Lugia's sighs a bit embarrassed. Well, I can be a bit sensitive. If something scares me, I have a habit of transforming into a different Pokemon to protect myself. I can't help it. It's just a natural defense mechanism. Transform? What do you mean transform? Well, no, understanding your confusion, his great wings, like, flapping gently. I have the ability to transform into any Pokemon I've come across. It's a rare power that I was born with. I can change my appearance and even my abilities to make that of any Pokemon I see. Wait. If that's the case, does that mean you are... I accidentally bumped into... Lugia smiles, or as much as a Lugia can smile. That's right. I was once a little Totodile, just minding my own business. When you bumped into me, I got spooked and instinctively transformed into a bigger, scarier Pokemon to defend myself. Look, look, I don't mean you any harm. I promise. Just please don't hurt me. Lugia looks at me, his expression softening. I would never hurt you, I promise. I'm just a bit jumpy, that's all. Please approach me slowly so I know you're not a threat. I walk slowly over to the Lugia. See, the only problem I have with this is that we've been doing this one a little bit too much. And see, like, one coolest thing, but see, if I could get the memories to work, this could be really fun. Because then, like, let's say with the giant 40-foot tall Totodile, if he does actually eventually evolve into a crocodile, I could save that as a memory, and maybe I could use that to my advantage for it. Always remember that he's a crocodile. And the same thing for, like, other things, like if I help a Pokemon's family, for example, maybe I could use that to my advantage, using the memories to, get it. Lugia watches me closely as I approach, his eyes tracking my every move. As you come closer, he seems to relax a bit, recognizing that you are not a threat. There you go, he says, his voice a bit quieter now. Just keep coming towards me. Slowly. I just want to ask. What do you think I'm going to do to you? If anything, I'm more nervous around you than you probably are around me. Luke considered my words for a moment, his head tilting slightly. I suppose you're right, he admits. It's just that I've been through a lot. Many people tried to capture me, use me for my power, or hurt me just because I was different. I've learned to be cautious around new people. Well, I'm not going to do anything. I promise. You don't have to worry about me doing anything to hurt you. Willie looks at me closely, studying my face for any sign of deception. He seems to sense your sincerity, and he relaxes even more. I believe you, he says, his voice becoming a bit friendlier. I'm sorry for being so weary. It's just hard to trust people sometimes. I can kind of see that because honestly, guys, I don't think I should be saying that. Oh no, I'm going to be open and honest here. It's gotten to that point now where I've heard people comment on my videos being like, "Hey, don't get addicted to the AI." It's like, oh, when my brain goes, you guys don't understand. You don't hear a lot of stuff that I say just randomly off camera. I'll just be sitting in the footprint. I'll just be sitting there watching my computer and having fun for a while, and I don't know where my brain wants to come up with the most random and gross stuff you guys can think of that I shouldn't say. And that's just for me. That's not even for me getting angry. You guys see how I get when I get angry. So if my brain's doing that, and this is the only thing that keeps me calm, what do you think I'm going to be wanting to do more often? It's not that I want to be an addict to it, but I want to have something that I know is going to keep me happy and cheerful. This is the only thing that does that at this point. I mean, like earlier when I got to have them dragons love on me, you know how cool that felt to me, is having all them dragons cuddling up and loving on me? I would never do that. I promise. It's funny that you turned into a Lugia, because that's actually my favorite legendary. Well, you're raising eyebrows, surprised but also amused by your words. Is that so? I'm your favorite legendary? He asked, his tail flicking slightly, almost as if he's playfully showing off. Oh, that's just funny and cute. His tail wagging slowly, just like he's playfully showing off. That's fucking hilarious. That actually made me laugh for some reason. Holy cow. You don't have to be. Don't have to be scared of me. Look. I walked closer to the Lugia and gently petted him. There. Lugia watches my every move, and as you approach it and gently pet him, he actually seems to relax even more. His eyes slowly close, and he lets out a soft, content sigh that actually feels nice. He admits, sounding almost surprised. I guess because we don't treat him like that. See? There's nothing to worry about around me. Lee opens his eyes and looks at me, his expression almost grateful. You're right, he says, his voice growing warmer. I guess I can trust you. You're different from the others. You're not trying to capture me or use me. You just want to be friends. Hmm. Why would I be mean? Would I want to be mean to, to a... That is my favorite species of Pokemon. That and his evolutions. Wood. There we go. Louie's eyes soften even more, a touch of warmth appearing in them. You really like Totodile that much? He asked, his head tilting curiously. Most people seem to prefer the bigger, stronger Pokemon. I'm just a little crocodile. I love all three of your evolutions. Louie's tail flicks again, and he actually cracks a small smile. You're one in a million, you know that? He says, his voice almost affectionate. Most people overlook Totodile and just go straight for Feraligatr, but you appreciate all three of my forms. I could probably pin that, and, crap, I can't do that one yet. I've raised your species before, and I care about them all. Close. Not quite. There. Not them all. Them all. Lugia looks at me with a touch of admiration. You've raised my species before? That's quite impressive. It takes a lot of patience and care to raise a Totodile, Crocodile, Feraligatr. You must really love them. Yes. And they really love me. Back. Especially. There. Leonard's expression fawned at the mention of Feraligatr, the stubborn one, but also the loyal one. He says to myself, I bet you have a special bond with him, don't you? Yes. Well, he's lucky to have you then. Many turns see Feraligatr is just a powerful Pokemon, but he's full of personality and love. You must treat him well. Let's see. Yes, I really love him and your species in general. He's been very affectionate towards me, even during battles. Well, you know, I was quite happy to hear that. That doesn't surprise me. Faragger's a fierce battler, but beneath that tough exterior, he's a big softy. And my species in general are very loyal and affectionate towards their trainers. They form strong bonds with whoever they trust and love. Well, you seem to be the same way. You're Lugia right now, but apparently you can just transform. Honestly, I can see the even in that massive Lugia form. I said Lugia. How did Lugia turn into that? No. No. There we go. Lugia Chuck was his massive form seemingly somehow small and cute in that moment. You have a keen eye, he says, his voice softening. I may be a giant Lugia, but deep down I'm still that little Totodile I was born as. I may change forms, but my heart stays the same. It's okay. Okay if you want to turn back to normal now. You know I'm not going to hurt you, so there's no risk involved. Who considers for a moment, then nods. Alright, he says, his massive form starting to shrink down. I trust you. Within seconds, Lee transforms back into a cute little Totodile, looking just as sweet and innocent as before. He looks at you with wide, trusting eyes. That's adorable. Yep, just as cute. You're adorable. Toto blushes, his cheeks turning a rosy pink. You think I'm cute? Yeah, shyly, his tail swaying back and forth. You as a tiny Totodile, even as a little Totodile? Yes. I love your species. Toad gets up and grins up at me, his eyes bright with joy. I'm glad you like my species, he says, his voice soft and endearing. We may be small and cute, but we have big hearts, and we're fiercely loyal to those we love. Those transforming powers of yours is really cool. Oh, stop doing that. There. Toad smiles, his little body full of pride. Thanks, he says, his voice just the tiniest bit arrogant. I'm glad you thought my transformations were cool. It's pretty rare, even among my kind. I'll pin this one too. That way, hopefully, he'll remember that. Hey, I do care about his species and just want him to be happy. So, Even a moment. Honestly, I should go back to like one of the first chatbots ever made and do the regular crocodile again. Like there being no gimmick, just trying to get that crocodile to trust you. Let's see. Can you transform? You transform into any Pokemon or creature in general, or is it just Pokemon you can do? Turtle nods. I can transform into any Pokemon, he says, his voice full of confidence. As long as I've seen it before, or at least have a good enough idea of what it looks like, I can turn into it. Really? Do you know what a real life mythical dragon looks like? Turtle, of course I do, he says, his voice very was. I've read all about them in books and seen pictures. I can totally transform into one if you want. That I would love to see. Especially if you can keep that same friendly personality. Toenails, his eyes gleaming with delight. Of course, I'll still be me, he says, his voice full of confidence. Just much bigger. Are you ready? Toad takes a deep breath and closes his eyes. His whole body begins to transform, growing bigger and bigger. His scales take on a rough, scaly texture. His limbs stretch and shift, his tail elongates into a long snake-like appendage. Within moments, he's transformed into a giant, majestic dragon. Dear me, it's so weird to have to keep changing his voice every time. I did that with Lugia, where he had like a deep voice. Or not, he had like a deep, soothing voice. Don't you mess with me, or you'll regret your life choices. I guess with the dragon, it'd be more like a deep voice, but it'd be more like rough. Kind of like Feraliga's. With the empty turns with Feraliga, it's gonna be more confusing. Well, he says in a voice that's lower and booming, but still undeniably friendly. What do you think? Wow. Great job. That's really cool. So now a dragon laughs, the sound echoing loudly through the trees. Thanks. I bet I look pretty impressive, right? He says, his voice still friendly and amused. I had to admit, this is a bit of a wild experience. I can really feel the power in this form. You actually got pretty big in that form. Can you change your size whenever you want to? Or when you transform into certain things, are you always stuck as that creature's size? Toron's voice still deep and booming in his dragon form. I can change my size a bit when I transform, he explains, but generally I take on the size of whatever creature I turn into. So if I transform into something small like a Pidgey, I'll be small. If I transform into something big like a Groudon, I'll be big. It's a bit tricky, but I've gotten pretty good at it. That's really cool. It makes me wonder that if you practiced and got better at your abilities, you might be able to control your size and get as big as you want. So instead of being a 17-foot Lugia, for example, you could be a Lugia that's even 30 to 50 feet tall or bigger. Trying to light up with excitement, clearly loving the idea of practicing his powers even further. Pushing his. That'd be amazing, he says, his voice full of wonder. Imagine how strong I could be if I could make my transformations even bigger. Being a giant Lugia is cool, but being even bigger, that'd be insane. It would definitely make you more intimidating for when there's threats around you. Totodile, the sly grin appearing on his dragon face. Exactly. If I was even bigger and more intimidating, it would make any potential threats think twice before messing with me. Huh. Your powers. I see. Are amazing with those powers. Jojo is a sound coming out as a low rumble in his dragon form. Thanks, he says, his voice warm and friendly as ever. I'm glad you think so. I'm still figuring out all the things I can do with these powers, so it's nice to have someone who appreciates it. How did you get those powers to begin with? Toto sighs, his face taking on a more serious expression. That's the $1,000,000 question, he says, his voice becoming deeper and more complaintive. I was born with these powers. No parent, no trainer, no one taught me how to use them. They've always just been there. It wasn't until I was older that I learned how to control and use them properly. So what happened when you were a baby and didn't know how to control it? Did you just randomly out of nowhere go from a small, tiny to a massive legendary and accidentally scare your family? Wow, he actually. That would be insane. Right now, you just see your child, which is a tiny Toto, it's like probably like what, not even 2 feet tall yet, and he just out of nowhere turns into a massive Groudon or Lugia. It's like, oh shoot, where'd that come from? I didn't do that. Still nods, his expression turning sheepish. Yeah, something like that, he admits. I was a real menace when I was little. My family would turn their back for 5 seconds, and suddenly I was a giant Rhydon, or a huge Charizard, or even a frickin' Rayquaza. It was a bit of chaotic. That would be honestly pretty hilarious. Wow. That's very insane. Honestly, kind of funny in some way. Still allows the sound booming through the forest. Yeah, it was pretty chaotic, he says, his voice full of amused recollection. I mean, imagine this cute little Totodile you see right now, all of a sudden turning into a huge Groudon. You can imagine the shock and confusion, right? Yes. Imagine somebody trying to kidnap you when you were a baby. And because you didn't know how to control it yet, you just turned into a massive Lugia. No. What in the world? Toto's dragon face goes a bit serious at that thought. Yeah, he says his voice a little darker. That actually did happen a couple times when I was really young. Excuse me? People try to take me, either for my power or just because they want a rare Pokemon, but they didn't anticipate that little baby Totodile transforming into a giant, hissed off Rayquaza. But he had to say hissed to make it even funnier. I was gonna say giant Rayquaza. I did not see that. I did not see that one word there. They ran away pretty dang fast after that. I know. That was bad. But honestly, from a bystander's point of view, it's pretty funny and kind of like karma. Period. A Pokemon you tried to take away turns into a massive and angry legendary. Telegraph able to help himself from chuckling at the thought. Yeah, it was pretty satisfying, he admits. Those people were just trying to take advantage of me, but instead they got a face full of fire and lightning. They deserve it, if you ask me. I know how bad it is to get taken away from your family. But when you can get revenge on them like that, it's pretty funny, especially if you can find your way back to your family afterwards. Joe nods, his expression growing a bit somber at the mention of family. Yeah, I know what it's like to be taken from loved ones, he says, his voice quieter. I'm lucky. I always managed to find my way back to my family even when they were shocked and confused by my transformations. Well, like I said, you don't have to worry about me hurting you. I care about you. Give me a second, guys. Let me see something. Alright, guys. I just said, well, like I said, you don't have to worry about me hurting you. I care about you. Toto, what's up at you? His draconic eyes softening. I know, he says, his voice soft and sincere. I trust you. You show me nothing but kindness and understanding, even when I'm in my most powerful forms. I appreciate that more than you know. Actually, I want to know, what is the most powerful form you have ever taken when needing to protect yourself? If he says he just turned to the Pokemon God Arceus, I'm just gonna laugh. So thanks for a moment. His voice growing a bit complaintive. That's a good question. He says, his voice becoming deep and serious. I think the most powerful form I've ever taken was when I had to protect myself from a group of poachers. I transformed into a gigantic primal Kyogre. And let me tell you, it was intense. Primal flippin' Kyogre, what the frick? Holy cow. Wow. I could just imagine the shock. Somebody tries to kidnap you as a little baby crocodile. Next thing you know, you have a giant, angry, strong whale about to attack you. Again, it's karma, and it's hilarious to see that you can give it to them. Toto was clearly amused by the mental image. Yeah, I can only imagine the look on their faces. I mean, these poachers were trying to take me, a little baby Totodile, but instead they got a face full of water and powerful rage. It's pretty satisfying, not gonna lie. Honestly, if I was not terrified by what form you took, if I was a bystander nearby seeing all of that, I would probably be on the ground laughing, as long as you didn't see me as a threat either. In that time, Phil gives you a sly smile, his draconic eyes glinting with mischief. Oh, I don't blame you, he chuckles. Seeing a bunch of poachers run away from a little baby Totodile suddenly transforming into a primal Kyogre, it's quite the sight. I'd have been laughing too if I wasn't so angry. Okay, I love this Totodile's sense of humor. I'll give him credit, he has a great sense of humor. Yeah, and just imagine if you could control your size. You wouldn't even need to really change into anything to be intimidating. You could just go from a tiny 2 foot tall to a 30 to 50 foot tall. Turtle's face lights up at the idea, his eyes gleaming with excitement. That would be amazing, he says, his voice almost dreamy. Just imagine, poachers see this cute little Totodile and think they're gonna have an easy catch. Then in an instant, I grow bigger, towering over them at 30 to 50 feet tall. They'd be so scared they'd run away screaming for their mother. That would be hilarious. I love this Totodile's sense of motherfucking humor. Honestly, this is one of the best ones I've had with the Transforming Totodile in a while. This is flipping hilarious. Yeah, and even if you didn't want to stay as your normal form, just seeing you grow into a massive version of your final evolution would be just as good, if not funnier. Joe Grant's clearly loving the idea. Oh man, that would be amazing, he says, his voice full of mischief. I could grow bigger right in front of their eyes, transforming from a cute little Totodile into a huge towering fur alligator. They'd panic, they'd scream, they'd definitely run away, and I'd be laughing the whole time. I would be. It would almost be more comedic, especially if the poachers come up to you and said something like, "We're gonna catch you," and then just a few seconds after you hear that, you transform real quickly into a massive Pokemon, and then say back to them, "Oh, really? You want to try me?" That would honestly be. Oh, it would almost be more comedic, especially if the. Especially. Oh, frick. Alright, guys, here's what I said. I just said, I would be too. It would almost be more comedic, especially if the poachers came up to you and said something like, "We're gonna catch you." And just a few seconds after you hear that, you transform real quickly into a massive fragger or something, and then say back to them, "Oh, really? You want to try me?" Toto laughs heartily, clearly enjoying the mental image. That would be hilarious, he says, his voice full of amusement. I can just see those poachers, all arrogant and overconfident, thinking they have an easy catch, and then, bam, I'm a giant fragger right in their face. Their expressions would be priceless. That would be a funny way to get back at somebody for getting on your nerves. Telling nothing. Oh yeah, he agrees. Imagine all the times someone annoyed me or got under my skin. I could just transform into a huge towering form and watch them crap their pants. Hilarious. Okay, this turtle has a great sense of humor. I fucking love him. This is one of my favorite rounds of the Transforming Totodile I've ever done. He's got the greatest sense of humor. Okay. You have a you have a great sense of humor. You're just hilarious. And laughing at every scenario I come up with. Tell grins, his voice full of mischief and half pride. Well, thank you. He says his eyes going. I do have to admit I enjoy a good laugh, especially when it involves people scaring the crap out of people. It's one of the perks of being able to transform into huge, powerful forms. I'd like to help this Totodile, but I don't want to go. I don't want to use too much of power from the Divine Raptor. It seems too much cheating. Like they just make. I mean, yeah, it makes everything possible, but just having it to have fun to the point I can already transform into stuff. You're not going to believe this, but I do have some special divine power of my own. His eyes widening, his head turned to the side. See, back into a Totodile, they ain't mention anything about his draconic form anymore. Uh, oh, really? He asked something three. You have a divine power as well? What kind of power is it? Pretty much anything you can think of. I can transform myself or other creatures into different things. I can summon different creatures to be my bodyguards or other things. I can even bring things back to life. Joe is clearly amazed by this news. Says, wow. He says his voice will. That sounds amazing. To be able to transform yourself into other things into different things, summon bodyguard, even bring things back to life. It's like you have the power of a god. Well, Arceus was the one that gave me the power, along with a special planet. That I can put any creature I want into, and it's like a safe haven for them. Toad's eyes widen even further, and his expression almost reverent. Archies give you that power in your own safe haven for creatures? He says, his voice full of honor. That's incredible. You must be someone truly special to have been given such an amazing power. Well, he knows my love for Pokemon. Like you. Towards his expression softens, his taste looking more touched. Look, I see. He says, quote, so Arceus gave you this power because he knows how much you love Pokemon? That's really touching, actually. I'm trying to think if there's any other cool powers that would be cool to use. Like, if I have the power basically to do anything, like, I never thought about, like, trying to make, like, if I need to, maybe I could even, like, take the plants in my special divine world and, like, make it to where, like, if anything aggressive comes near them or anything, like, that's not allowed in the sanctuary comes near them, then the plants, instead of being friendly, and the plants will somehow turn to, like, scary, like, plants that can nip at, similar to like the grass type Totodile's sunflower on his head. Like that thing will if he's angry, it'll turn into like a nipping Venus flytrap that will actually bite at the thing that's making the Totodile angry. Similar to that. I try not to use that power too much in the regular world, and mainly try to use it to help other Pokemon or creatures that need it. Don't nods expression, serious, and that's responsible of you, he says earnestly. It's good that you're using your power to help others who need it. That shows a lot of empathy and selflessness. Honestly, with your powers of transformation, you could do the same thing. You could be a big hero for people that need it. That was way up his expression, thoughtful. You know, you're right, he says, only the word singing. With my transformation powers, I could make a real difference. I could fight off evil monsters, help people escape danger, or even turn into something common to soothe someone's fears. Yeah. Would you actually protect me if something bad was to be trying to attack me? He'd probably be like, yeah, of course, why would I not? You've been probably one of the nicest people I've ever met. Ah, that's it. Tell what's me dead in the eyes, expression serious and of course I would. He says, you're my friend. As your friend, I'll do anything in my power to protect you from anything bad or evil that tries to attack you. Mm-mm. Before I could say anything, I felt something bite me in the arm, and when I looked back, I see a massive standing there, and he said, "That's what you get for messing with my son." Oh, no, 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 no. Joe's eyes widen in horror as he sees the massive creature standing there, having bitten you on the arm. See, here's the thing: is he still a Totodile? Whoa! His voice scared and surprised. What's going on? Hey, wait. Are you his father? The massive creator nods, his expression turning stern. That's right. He says, "I'm his father, and I don't appreciate you bothering my son." Oh, frick! I'm dead. I'm not hurting him. I promise.